Hi, I'm Richard Tatum, and I'm doing a video series called How to Love. In this series, I'm sharing with you my definition of the word love, what it means to me, in hopes of inspiring you, myself, and everyone else to be more loving towards one another. Given what's going on in the country, this is something we just absolutely need to have, is more love. And in my first video, I shared with you the definition of love that I operate with, which is the willful sacrifice of one's energy for the benefit of someone or something. So today we're talking about that word sacrifice. Sacrifice means that I've got to give up something of value to me in order to recoup something of a greater value later. Now, if I'm giving up something of value to me right now and I don't get anything back later of value, then that's not necessarily a sacrifice. That's more of a loss per se. We could probably talk about altruism, but that's a whole other conversation. But that's more loss. I'm giving something that belongs to me, that I feel entitled to, that I have right to, that is mine, my energy, that I have to hold on to. And I'm willfully giving it up because I believe that something better will result as I have given this up. And so we ask ourselves, what are the things that I need to surrender? Ask yourself, do I need to surrender racist jokes so that I can have peace? Am I willing to surrender my right to be angry for the sake of brotherhood? Am I willing to sacrifice my ignorance for a better understanding of other people? I am a black man, as you can probably tell. And there are lots of people who would say that in this country, I have the right to be angry about what happened to my ancestors, what happened to my grandparents and my parents, and to a certain degree, what's happening to me. The injustice that's happening, things like that. And a lot of people would agree. There's some who would disagree, but there are a lot of people who would agree that I have that right to be angry about this. But am I willing to let go of my anger, to table my anger, not necessarily to stop feeling it, but to not act out in it? Am I willing to sacrifice the right to act out in anger for the sake of brotherhood or peace? You know, that's something that I had to ask myself. Am I willing to give that up? Because truth be told, I've been treated unjustly. And I think there are a couple times where it had to do with the color of my skin. But if I hold on to that, I don't have the option to move forward. I do feel it. I do process it. I acknowledge that it happened. And I'm not dismissing anything. But what I'm saying is that the desire to move forward is the thing of greater value. That moving forward to be recognized as human and be treated as a decent human being means more to me than my right to be angry. I talked to a friend of mine recently, and we talked about the race wars that happened throughout the history of this country, really. And we talked about how there were deaths on both sides. And I know that race isn't just a black and white thing, but here in America, that's pretty much how it breaks down for most cases. And so on the black side, you have people who are dying. On the white side, you have people who are dying as a result of someone's hatred of different people. And what means more to me? My ability to hate my enemies, or my ability to raise my children? If hating my enemy meant that my children would be made targets and that they could possibly die as a result of this, would I be willing to surrender my hatred for the love of my children? Am I willing to look my children in the eye and say, I love you, but I hate this guy so much, I'm willing to let you die so that I can be angry at him? Am I willing to do that? See, I've got to be willing. It starts with me. I've got to be willing to give something up. Each person in this country has to be willing to give something up in order to move forward. We're entitled to a lot of things in this country. America is a country of, or sorry, should I say the United States is a country of entitlement. Lots and lots of entitlements. But it only gets better when we start surrendering those entitlements and using our energy to benefit other people. And that becomes a culture. And as that becomes a culture, we start to heal. So ask yourself, what have I not surrendered? Or what have I not sacrificed? What am I not willing to sacrifice? Why am I not willing to sacrifice? But ultimately, we also need to know, what am I willing to sacrifice? What am I willing to give up to make things better? I love you. There's nothing you can do about it. I'll see you tomorrow.